Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another installment of the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. What was that?
Because when he chased
Podcasting. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Welcome to another exciting edition of the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your boy, Double B Blabba, the franchise player, joined by Adam, according to Woods. Adam, WrestleMania, 2 nights, brother.
It was more like Mia Culpa Mania. Like, hey, Titus, you want to host WrestleMania? Oh, you're going to have to do it with Hogan, right? In front of a live crowd. Hey, Miz, you want another title run? Cool story, bro. You're going to work Bad Bunny at Mania. This is Mia Culpa Mania, the payoff. Apparently on Raw, the Viking Raiders, Iktar and Tavar, I fucking don't know. But those guys made their big return. But again, in terms of like Easter egg, you saw them when Vince made his triumphant return to the TV and
Jinder
whatever.
Mahal, brother. Jinder Mahal. He was there.
He's vascular. Damn it. That's some good shit, pal.
Oh my god, man. It was fucking crazy, bro. WrestleMania 2 nights in a row, man. I mean, look, I gotta say this, ladies and gentlemen. I know you're probably like, Bad Blood, we saw you totally bashing Bad Bunny. Dude, Bad Bunny was fucking amazing.
Yeah. You know, and my only problem, if I were to, I mean, there was a couple nitpicks. I don't get the Bad Bunny. I don't get the visual. I don't get the presentation. The thing looks like Chris Tucker from The Fifth Element. Don't get it. Wears a shittier shield than Roman Reigns used to, right? I get it. He doesn't wear a shield anymore. But still, that's the way he was presented to me when he first came out. But I kind of nitpick the fact that he used the fucking Canadian Destroyer and it wasn't a finish. It was a Canadian Destroyer on the floor. On the arena floor, and it wasn't a fucking finish. But he worked his ass off. That I will say, and even Petey Williams wasn't mad at it. So, I mean, if the originator isn't, you know, the godfather of the Canadian Destroyer isn't mad at it, what the fuck am I bitching about? And Doug Williams, you know, like one of my all-time favorites, he was just like, guess what? Here is the work of, you know, the 3 other gentlemen, the Damian Priest, Miz, and Morrison, but also a celebrity who gave a damn. This is not like Al Sharpton or Little Richard, respectively, who showed up and got the fuck out as soon as their paycheck was, you know, they hit the pay window. So, I guess, right on.
Man, I don't know, man. I gotta tell you, it was really shocking, man. I didn't want to start with that, but dude, you kind of have to. Like, you know, a lot of people on Twitter were saying, you know, Bad Bunny is the best. He's the best celebrity to, you know, be part of WrestleMania. Well, you guys also remember that. I know it was the best celebrity to have a wrestling match in the WWE. Now, keep in mind, Stephen Amell from Arrow, a legit athlete, had a kick-ass match with Cody Rhodes.
Was that at Mania?
That was at Mania. It was a tag team match.
I could have, man, in my mind,
kick-ass match.
My mind tells me it was like SummerSlam.
Oh, no. It was at
SummerSlam.
No, it was AEW's All Out.
No, but he
had a match there too. It was SummerSlam. You're right.
Yeah. No, but I don't know. Now let's not get it twisted, right? Anybody that thinks that, oh, WrestleMania is the pantheon of where all of your sports entertainment values converge. No, fuck. The first one had Liberace and whoever the fuck is Billy Martin, who outside of the New York market, you didn't know who the fuck Billy Martin was in '85. Like, you know, like it's the one that doesn't age well. You know, Liberace, you know, Muhammad Ali, and we had obviously Mr. T, right? Cyndi Lauper. So let's not like us wrestling purists says, oh, no celebrities at Mania. No, fuck, it's a spectacle. That's what Mania was built on, right? But again, there's a fine line where you can do it well and do it not well. And it wasn't, for what it wasn't bad. Now, I am absolutely proud of maybe myself for not having anybody in my circle, not my kids, not my friends, not my family, know who the fuck Bad Bunny is. So, I mean, I was rocking a Bruce Springsteen shirt right before this damn thing, and I changed it into the Road Warrior Zubaz t-shirt, like a respectable human being on a wrestling podcast. But I mean, shit, I'm glad that I don't know, like, because the presentation, I would be like, I'm out, you know. RIP DMX, but how the fuck that DMX and Bad Bunny are the same thing? He was like, y'all motherfuckers, I'm out.
Rest in peace, DMX, man. I don't know, man. I mean, WrestleMania just had so many like ups and downs. It was, you know,
thank you, Simon Miller.
True enough. Shout out to my boy Simon Miller. What Culture Wrestling? Simon Miller. Shout out to my boy Lukewarm Luke Owen right there at Wrestle Talk on the Wrestle Talk podcast every week, you know, every day. Man, I'm just saying. Oh my God, it was just crazy. And then let's talk about. I mean, look, let's start with night 2, because we talked about night 1 before. Let's talk about night 2.
Yeah,
because night 2 really blew my fucking mind. The Fiend. Okay. They opened the show with the Fiend versus Randy Orton. Now, remember my predictions, because I did say that Randy Orton was going to win this match.
Yes, you did.
Now, Randy Orton did win the match, ladies and gentlemen. He did the hanging DDT. The Fiend just jumped up and was like, dude, the Fiend went crazy. Like, totally just kicking the shit out of Randy. And then all of a sudden, Alexa Bliss starts, she's sitting on top of the Jack in the Box where the break came out. And I just got to say, that was one of the best fucking WWE entrances. Like, he popped up out of the thing and just like looked around and then just hit the clothesline on the top of it. Good way to start Mania night 2. But quite honestly, man, what the fuck are they doing with the Fiend?
They know we like the Fiend. It is the best example of long-term storyline that WWE has told in God knows how long, right? And they're like, oh, you like this thing? Cool. We're going to fuck it. We're going to fuck it no lube. That's what we're going to do. Oh, 100%.
So stupid. Like, why are they like, here's my thing about the Fiend, okay? Even the Undertaker, Mark Calloway, the Undertaker, said when he left the WWE, he left the Fiend as the new Undertaker. He was pushing Vince to push this guy like this, push him as the new Undertaker. And you can kind of see some of the gimmick that, you know, he's doing, the whole supernatural, you know, popping in and out of places, coming out of the ground like Kane used to. Like, he's doing all of these things. But to have him get beaten by an RKO after he got hit with an RKO and kicked right out of it, I just jumped right back up on SmackDown 2 nights prior.
Yeah.
Or Raw, whatever the hell it was. The point of the matter is this. The pre-match spectacle of the Fiend entrance was great. The match itself was stupid. It was really stupid. Like, the distraction that allowed Randy Orton to hit the RKO was almost as bad as, you know, Bobby Lashley beating Drew Galloway or Drew McIntyre, whatever the hell his gimmick is this week, when he went for the Claymore and MVP said, "Hey Drew," and he stopped and looked. Like, what the? Does Vince McMahon really think that the WWE fans are that fucking stupid?
I don't really think he gives us much. You know, it's to be a star, and we put smiles on people's faces, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like every fucking time, it's just like, no, not at all. Yeah, exactly. And I don't even think he thinks about us. I think he thinks about himself and whatever he fucking, likes in between his fucking protein bars and pissed off that somebody sneezed in his presence, like, and pre-COVID, right? So I don't know. I mean, I love the fact that they went back to the, they had the hocus pocus and had him do the Fiend rather than the burnt. He looked like a fucking weird ass, like Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas. And then if you're here in the States, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is a commercial, and we had talking Cinnamon Toast Crunches. Bray Wyatt's burnt character looked like a fucking baby of the two.
I don't get it, man. It's just so like we all know wrestling is sports entertainment. Well, I'm sorry, the WWE is sports entertainment.
Right.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But to have the matches, look, even JB Moonshiner said it right here. He said, look, it made no sense. Alexa Bliss has been harassing Randy for weeks and then distracts the Fiend. Makes no sense. You're right. What the hell was that all about?
Okay. So I'm not booking at all. Well, but first off, I will want to say, because you were saying that the Fiend beat the shit out of Randy Orton, which optics and entertainment wise, he absolutely did. Now, you're a worker. I fucking was like, holy shit. Randy Orton took 3 bumps at Mania.
Yes.
Right on. It's the same shit that R-Truth is doing, getting TV time and having a fucking title, right? And he fucking takes one backdrop, one fucking backslide, and that's it. Like every fucking week. Kudos to you for saving your bodies. There's only so many fucking bumps on that bump card, the proverbial bump card. So shout out to you guys. So not even WrestleMania will fucking Randy Orton take a bump. Right on. Kudos to you, Randy. That's the only time, because I haven't liked Randy Orton since like the fucking Ozone fucking days where he busted his fucking shoulder and was doing shit heel fucking almost a la Kurt Angle fucking promos and shit like, I'm the best and whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I haven't liked him since then. I thought Mark Jędrzejczyk would be a better inclusion of Evolution, especially what you saw him do as Marco Corleone in Mexico, right? So, whatever.
Corleone,
yeah. So I don't know.
I mean,
but
WrestleMania was that match. Let's move on from that match, because that match it really kind of pissed me off just a little bit, because I really like Randy as a worker because he's an old school guy. There's a lot of old school WWE fans there in our chat group that love old school wrestling. But here's the thing, man. For that to happen the way it did, it totally shits on the Fiend gimmick. So, with that being said, we're going to go to the second match of the night. The second match of the night was the Women's Tag Team Championship match. Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler versus Natalya and Tamina.
Botch City?
Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler won.
Botch City. Man, it was weird. Nia Jax, when she was making her way to the ring down the ramp. I mean, not Nia Jax, I'm sorry. Tamina. Tamina looked like she had a weird, like, Kevin Nash wishbone leg thing. Like, I don't know if she had she did have a surgery on her knees. But, like, why the fuck are you going to make somebody that had, like, knee problems walk down a fucking, 100-foot ramp on an incline or on a decline? Like, that was pretty fucked. And it was just, like, it was Botch City after that. Like, and there was even a moment where they were supposed to do the fucking the what is it, the London Tower
the Tower Doom.
Yeah, Tower Doom spot and whatever, right? And Nia was up top. Tamina was in the corner about to do something with her. Natty audibly and visually was like, hey, Serona, what the fuck? Right? And then they come back down to fucking mat level, and then they wait for a fucking eternity, and then they fucking switch camera fucking angles, and then you saw like 30 seconds later.
His camera angles were ridiculous.
Yes, and then 30 seconds later, you saw a splash from Nia to both the prey of Tamina and Natalya. It was Botch City, man. I'm surprised. Like, I don't know what the whole deal. Hopefully nobody got injured. You don't want to, whatever. But like, dude, and then it was weird because like Natty looked a little bit more enhanced. I was like, maybe the money she's getting from the YouTube deal has gone to one place. That's what it looked like to me. I'm just saying. But it was weird. I like the fact that Nia and Shayna won, just because it's Shayna. Shayna can wreck everything. Everybody. Shayna's awesome. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. And
Show up,
Natty,
wreck shit, leave.
yeah, and Natty, love her. She's the only female of the Hart Dungeon.
Look,
her grandfather is Stu Hart. She's the
JB
only
JB Moonshine said it best right here. How long do you wait for a crossbody?
95 seconds, apparently. 95 seconds, which is an eternity in WrestleMania numbers. So,
which is eternity in a wrestling match, period.
they should do one of those. You know how they do the by the numbers of Royal Rumble, like this many eliminations or whatever. They should include how long Tamina and Natty fucking waited for Nia Jax to pulverize them. That'd be great. I want that.
Man. Oh man, I'm just saying, man, it's so crazy. Okay, so we know who won that match. Let's go to the third match of the night. The third match of the night, Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. And I did say Kevin Owens was going to win this match. I did say he was going to win this match due to the fact that that dude from the YouTube guy, Logan Paul, was going to do some shit. Well, I was wrong about that. But man, I don't know.
Okay. All right. So here's the thing. So the match was amazing until they got to the finish, right? All of the fucking crazy shit that they did, the fucking, Owens, teased the fucking, package pile driver. He did the fucking pop-up power bomb. It's everything that if you saw them in Ring of Honor or PWG, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. I thought WrestleMania was crap. Roman. We'll get to that for sure, Toby.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. But first off, I just don't like Kevin Owens doing the stunner. Now, obviously, Austin wasn't the first person to do it. It was Johnny Ace, and then I think I can't remember if the Japanese legend that not Musawa, but somebody else, like Johnny Ace basically ripped it from somebody else.
Oh yeah,
in Japan.
He took
right.
Was it Otani? No.
It was I want to say it was God. Why am I blanking on his name? He's amazing, but he's the one that fucking in Ring of Honor chopped the shit out of Samoa Joe back in the day. No, not Tanaka. Fuck, it's gonna. It was like Musawa towards the end of Musawa's life. It was Musawa's his rival in Pro Wrestling Noah. Fuck, I can't. Anyway, whoever that guy, I want to say it's him, but I might even be botching the reference in itself. But in any event, I just of all the cool fucking moves that they did, a fucking stunner, not the Blue Thunder Bomb, not the fucking Helifa kicks, not the fucking, it was
Masato Tanaka. He called it the shotgun stunner.
Wait, Masato Tanaka?
Masato Tanaka.
Okay, then. All right, Masato. Hell yeah!
Before you started doing that roaring elbow, it was the Stone Cold Stunner. Johnny Ace used it in Japan, but he stole it from Masato Tanaka.
Okay, there we go. Shout out to Tanaka-san. No, but I mean, of all the cool shit, and then they ended with the fucking stunner. And again, Austin wasn't the first one to use the stunner, obviously, but he's the one who's the most prominent of doing it. I am absolutely pissed off that a Canadian Destroyer, a Spine Buster, a Gourd Buster, a DDT, and a Super Kick, all those things that can legitimately, if used, you can fucking hit it and fucking knock somebody out, right? And it's used up as a setup move, right? So all the fucking cool shit, all the cool moves, all the fucking damage that they did to each other in this fucking match, and then a stunner is what does it, and then they
went all out. They went crazy in this match, dude.
Yes, they did. This was a tipping of the hat to their PWG possibly ROH. Yep, Fat Stone Cold and Taxi Driver. Which I'm not.
JB.
I'm not mad at Sami Zayn's character. But much like the Fiend, like I almost don't want to like it because they're going to shit on it, and we're seeing that, And
I don't
just
understand the significance of destroying someone's gimmick when this gimmick is popping, and everyone is so excited about this gimmick going over, and he's making it work.
Mhm.
Sammy's one of those guys that you can give him breadcrumbs, and Duke can make a Thanksgiving dinner. Okay, he is that guy. Give him lemonade, and he's making margaritas, bro. He is that guy. So you give him something, and you say, "Hey, Sami, go out there and do what you do." And he goes out there, and then he shit on him.
Yeah, and it almost reminds me. It may be apples to oranges to some people, but I think it fits. Where it's almost like the fucking Dusty Rhodes polka dots, right?
Yeah.
Because the reason why they're giving him the fucking conspiracy gimmick, the way that I feel that they're doing it, well, guess what? Because he missed those Saudi blood money shows and shit like that, and whatever.
Punishment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Toby's right. Seems to be the WWE thing to bunch. Yeah, that's right. And people always say that AEW is all about high spots and stuff, but AEW is the best company, and I'll go on record right now and say it. They're the best company right now with storytelling. You got Hangman Page has been in a story for 2 years. You know what I mean? Compared to a WWE storyline, like, man, I mean, I'm just saying it, man. And this whole Logan Paul thing, I'm glad that Sami, I'm glad, and you can audibly hear Sami tell the referee,
"Oh yeah,
Logan to come in the ring."
Yes.
Oh yeah, Dunn, Mr. Kevin Dunn, the guy, the head producer of WWE, the self-proclaimed god of television production. Him and his 500 camera takes. Puts the camera right. He cuts the camera right to Sami Zayn, telling her, "Hey, go get Logan Paul. Tell him to get in the ring for the finish."
Mm-hmm.
And the ref looked at him, and she rolled out, and the camera followed her.
Yes.
I'm like, dude, production 101. You don't do that.
And especially at Mania, and I don't know. I would love to be a fly on the wall in Vince and Kevin Dunn's kind of like them hashing it out over the fucking. The Kevin, shit that
was such good shit.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It was weird, but we were gonna get weirder, And I love they're making Owens literally like Stone Cold. They're literally fucking just putting
much what he is.
All the Stone Cold booking of like 90 whatever when he fucking injured his neck after Owen, right? Aside from actually like the beer, like it would be too like, oh, we're fucking ripping that shit off if he rode a fucking beer truck and drove a fucking, monster truck.
He probably will.
Oh God, I hope not. Fuck. This is why we can't have nice things.
That's right. They can do 15 finishers, kick out, but slip on a banana peel. That's so
JB
true.
Moonshine, you speak truth.
JB Moonshine.
You are a true street prophet. See
That's
what I did
right.
there?
So with that, Kevin Owens defeats Sami Zayn, gives the stunner a horrible. I mean, even Vince McMahon took the stunner better the first time.
Oh no! This is where I'm gonna disagree. Logan Paul
damn near shit himself with that stunner.
I love Logan Paul's cell. Like I love Logan Paul's cell. And then there was a celebrity on night one who did something but sold the shit out of it too. I thought the cell was great. I thought the cell was great. Like I'm not mad at the cell, but it was weird because it looked like Logan Paul was WWE's high price version of Orange Cassidy.
True statement. And Toby he's right here. Toby, you are right, my friend. Look, he says he's not a big fan of it, I guess, but I'm still old school that a finisher is exactly that, a finisher. It is a huge deal to kick out of one. But 15, come on, bro. You're preaching to the choir, my man. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you. Speaking of that, I fucking called it. Winner and new United States champion, Sheamus. I told you guys, Sheamus was not going to go. But dude, Sheamus. I mean, I like Riddle as a wrestler. But quite honestly, Riddle, the gimmick he has right now, the pot smoking, stupid scooter riding, bro, gimmick, Dude, give me Riddle from fucking the Indies, man. Give me that Riddle. Because that Riddle was just wrestling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the thing about it is, look, why is Kevin Owens, and why is Sami Zayn, and all, like, they pick and choose what the fuck that they pick, and like, he's already, why are you calling him Riddle? Like, what the fuck?
Right.
Yes, his name is Matt Riddle, but when you Google that motherfucker, right, his UFC shit comes out, his Evolve stuff and whatever, RVD and the Rolling Papers, yep, and the Kali,
Wait,
that was weird.
Let's stop right here. Since when did WWE start promoting smoking weed?
Because they want to run in Portland again. That's for fucking sure.
I'm just tripping, like, because at first they're like, dudes are getting suspended for smoking weed in WWE. Now that Matt Riddle's there and RVD is a Hall of Famer, and he's like on TV, like, hey kids, it's okay to smoke weed. Here's my blunt papers, bro.
Well, but the deal with, like, Riddle, right? Because they wanted to sign him like way back when, and then they were like, oh, I think Triple H was like, nah, work more and then, like, lay off the pot and whatever. And in the 2 to 5 years that he was doing indies and all that stuff, the landscape, the culture changed, right? And in terms of like, legalization happened in states that pretty much swore against any kind of narcotics usage. It's weird to call, like, weed and stuff that grows on the ground. Like, what is spinach versus weed and shrooms? Like, I don't personally do it, but do you, Boo Boo? Like, do fucking you.
Toby has a good point here. He said, didn't Fox want them to go back to edgy stuff? But here's the funny thing. Toby, listen to this, brother. The Peacock Network doesn't want that shit.
Yeah.
But Fox is like, smoke your blunts, ladies and gentlemen. Snort your cocaine. Fuck it, whatever. Live on Fox TV, live on Fox. Let's smoke a blunt.
Yeah.
But then you get your shit edited out on the Peacock Network. So.
No, 100%. So that what is? I mean, if we went, here we are the Monday after it, when we're taping this, right? And what to say if we go back to Mania and that shit is there? Right? We want the smoke. I mean, if they're saying it, that's it. And then also fucking pentagrams and the fucking, Alexa Bliss shit. Like,
can I just say, what the fuck? 25,000 screaming fans at WrestleMania, and none of the motherfuckers were wearing a mask. WWE starts promoting, get vaccinated, ladies and gentlemen. COVID is serious. COVID is serious. Some of our wrestlers have gotten really sick from COVID. COVID is a very bad thing and people are dying. But show up at our venue and don't wear a fucking mask. And don't social distance, because they were packed in there like sardines.
Oh, did you see the tweet from the guy that was like,
yes, that's why I brought that up.
All right. You want to take it away, good sir?
I want you to wait, before you do that, let me say this. The sickest move of the whole night. Not the white noise botch from the top rope. But when Riddle tried to hit the Bro Derek and he got Bro kicked in the face, knocked him the fuck out. And I recorded that and I sent it to our little chat group with the phrase, "Get over here."
Which, again, that move going right. What the fuck was gonna happen other than him literally, like, I don't know, again, as somebody who fought in the UFC, and Matt Riddle, I know he likes to get his shit in. Same thing with Sheamus. Sheamus, fuck, man, like, that guy goes hard. Yep. Oh, that was bad. Yeah, but I don't know how Riddle could kind of like, yeah, bro, let's do that spot. Like, because
he was high.
How does it not, like, exactly what happened? It wasn't even a botch to me, because that's what happened. Somebody fucking flippy shits and you kick them in the fucking face. Look what happened. Like, they replay the fucking Shawn Michaels and Shelton Benjamin deal, right? Mm-hmm. That's what happens, right?
That's right.
I'm surprised that Shelton didn't have a Riddle mouth. Like, that's what I'm calling it, a Riddle mouth.
So, going back to what you were talking about, the Twitter post. talk about that Twitter post real quick because I really want fans to understand that I'm not bashing WWE. I'm being real.
Yes. So okay, I'm gonna read because I don't want to paraphrase it. Right? I don't
Please
want to
read it
paraphrase
verbatim.
verbatim. This is
And let
exactly
the
what.
fans know who are listening on Spotify, Google, Apple, Anchor, the ones that are listening on Pandora, iHeartRadio, the ones that are listening on Amazon Music. Let them all know.
Yes. So basically, it was, and this is an account that has since been suspended by Twitter, but somebody called Eric Tables at Eric Tables said, got positive COVID result earlier today, not stopping me from attending Mania, hashtag night 2 of hashtag WrestleMania, baby. Congrats to the Apex Predator and Sheamus. And then the reply, because I guess he got some heat on it, he's like, I paid money. I deserve to be at this show. If you want somebody to blame GCW Wrestling, right? And
Yeah, I
then,
saw that too.
and Jesus, people, chill. I'm wearing a mask. And after that, and there have been people that were like, oh, that's a fake account, that's a bot or whatever. But for some reason, like it came up in my trending whatever. So I actually went through his timeline. This is a real person that was like with friends at Mania. He was in the concourse, tweeted about like waiting in line and everything like that. So at least to me, it didn't seem like a bot.
Well, I mean, honestly, let's just call it what it is, man. Are you fucking serious? You got COVID and you're like, hey, I'm going to Mania. I don't care if I get everybody sick. Like, what the fuck? I'm like, I don't get it, man. I just don't get it.
Florida,
Basically, the
man.
WWE is promoting weed, Satanism, and apparently COVID. Spreading.
Yeah.
But we have a new United States champion, and that United States champion is none other than Sheamus. Now, going to the next match, the Intercontinental Championship, a Nigerian drum fight.
Okay, wait. I will just say before we move on, botched white noise, and then we can go. Right,
botched white noise from the top rope.
Yes, absolutely. Good lord. But
the WWE doesn't have botches in their matches, according to Raven Travis Berry.
it happens. It happens. But the thing about this Nigerian like fucking drum match, I don't know what the fuck was supposed to happen. I didn't know what it was supposed to be.
I didn't know until the night of the show.
Right, 100%. That everything that went on during this match, including the first weapons that were grabbed, were fucking kendo sticks. Which
I just gotta say this before we go any further. I just gotta say this. For it to be a Nigerian drum fight, Nick Cannon didn't show up. There was no fucking drum line, and nobody got hit with any fucking drums. I was a little upset. The drums are right there at ringside, and nobody got hit with them. They hit each other with everything: the fucking stairs, kendo sticks. Apollo Crews went crazy and broke a kendo stick over Biggie. Biggie, went through hit a splash from the top rope through a table. He gave him a big ending on it was friggin' chaos. Everything, and even the kitchen sink, everything was used in this match except the goddamn drums.
Yes. Now, again, this is even the fact that they grab the kendo stick first, right? If you're a wrestling historian, that's a fun little wormhole to go to because it's a Nigerian drum match. They get a kendo stick, which I mean, it's of Chinese descent, but essentially Kendo Nagasaki of World of Sport fame, who is a British guy posing as Japanese. He's the one who basically introduced that into wrestling, right? So, yeah. That's what they went for before the actual Nigerian drum, or what was presented as a Nigerian drum, right?
Now,
and I was just like,
this match is. I mean, the match. Let's just call it what it is. It was a cluster. It was a lot of violence. Apollo Crews beats Big E to win the Intercontinental title, but Dabba fucking Kato came in. Now people were like, "Oh my god, who's this big guy? Who's this big guy?" Dude, remember Raw Underground?
Nobody fucking remembers Raw Underground, and that's exactly what Vince wants you to think. Like
once again, the fans are stupid in Vince's eyes. But
It's weird that he came out with all the general garb and everything.
Right?
Like, what was he? If Apollo Crews is the Nigerian prince and what have you, then essentially that dude is like Idi Amin, right? That fucking killed all the Rwandans, right?
Mhm.
Like that. Is that where we want to go with this? Like,
Apparently, that's the way it is.
okay, I guess.
But let's move on to
Two black guys beating each other with sticks.
no.
WrestleMania.
The best thing of the whole night for me. And JB Moonshine brought it up, and Toby brought it in too. JB Moonshine said, "Let's talk about Hulk Hogan co-hosting with Titus O'Neil."
Mia Culpa Mania.
Now, wait. It gets better because right here, Hogan got put in his place by Titus when Hogan was like, what do you call them? Scallywags. She's like, we're here in Tampa with all these scallywags. And first off, they were both dressed like sailors or pirates, which is so stupid. That was a Vince idea. Vince was like backstage just chuckling his ass off. But the funny thing that made this whole thing funny was the fact that when he said that, fucking and Titus just like dead face was like, you can't call these people that, man. You can't call these people that. And for those who are wondering why it's so funny, it's because Hogan dropped the N-bomb on video several times and has been labeled a racist.
He's not racist. Everywhere he grew up around, they might be racist, and we're not going to acknowledge that. Or him boinking his buddy's wife or whatever. Like, it's weird. Yeah. Hogan has purported himself as and really shown himself as a real American.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, look. Oh man.
Salute your shorts.
Yeah. I just got we gotta go to the next the next match. Speaking of the next match, tonight on Monday Night Raw, for those who don't know, is the rematch for the Raw Women's Championship. And I say rematch because Rhea Ripley is now your Raw Women's Champion as she defeats Asuka. Now, they have treated Asuka like yesterday's garbage. Asuka is fucking awesome. But like I told you in our Raw WrestleMania preview prediction show, Rhea Ripley was going to win the match and win the championship.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is this. I also said Charlotte Flair would show up on Monday Night Raw and challenge the winner. Well, just like I said, Charlotte Flair showed up tonight on Monday Night Raw. And Charlotte Flair has quickly made her presence known, and she is going to go after Rhea Ripley in the WWE Women's Championship because, well, of course, she's Charlotte Flair. With that being said, Rhea Ripley is still your WWE Women's Champion.
I mean, it's a good deal. I want to believe that they're playing into last year's storyline where Rhea dropped the NXT title, women's title, to Charlotte. I want to believe that, but I don't even think that they remember the booking that to happen or whatever, and the cohesiveness of the story. I mean, yeah,
that's true. Yeah, agreed. I wasn't a fan of this. Put the title on her and another pay-per-view. Toby, that is completely right, man. That is completely watching. JB Moonshine, I'm sorry for the spoilers, bro. But if you're watching this show right now, heavy spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a prediction. It's not a spoiler. It's what does Paul Heyman say? It's not a spoiler. No, it's not a prediction. It's a spoiler. Yeah. So you're watching the spoiler show tonight, JB Moonshine. So you might want to tune out when we start talking about Monday Night Raw tonight, because Raw was done 3 hours ago.
Yeah. Oh man, Raw was done at the 3 hour mark, and I'm talking the 3 hour Raws and whatever. And the fact that I don't even like, to be honest, like WrestleMania 2 nights. I hope this is like the last time this happens. But then again,
it's WrestleMania 2 nights in Dallas next year, and then 2 nights in LA a year after that.
Okay, I'm out. I don't know. Like it's like no.
That's what happens
Why?
when you got 15 championships that have to be defended in 2 nights. I mean,
New Japan does it fine.
yeah, but New Japan does it, and it's wrestling. It's not stupid. Anyway, so going to the main event. The main event, Roman Reigns versus Edge versus Daniel Bryan. Now, I gotta say this. All 3 of those men came back from very big odds. Roman with his cancer or leukemia, cancer. Edge with his career-ending neck injury. Daniel Bryan with concussions that put him out for a while. This was their biggest match. This was their big thing. And I gotta tell you, man, Edge came out like, so Daniel Bryan was the face, Roman Reigns was the heel, Edge was the tweener. And Edge, like, from the start, the match just went crazy. As soon as the match started, like, announcer table was getting set up, and Daniel Bryan was diving on people, Jey Uso hitting super kicks on people, and like Daniel Bryan and Edge went crazy. They went out in the ring. Roman grabbed a chair, and just Superman punches and chair shots and concertos and power bombs to the outside, and broken chairs. It was just crazy, man. It was crazy. And I will tell you, in my opinion, they should have another match. They literally should have another match. And I think that if I were booking the show, I will book another triple threat match, because Edge tapped out. Edge and Daniel Bryan tapped out Roman Reigns. You know what I mean? It was a great match, man. It was a great match. And like you said, I know I haven't got Jimmy Uso's been out. He's injured, but he's been training at the
Performance Center,
Capital Wrestling Center. That's what they're calling it now. The Capital Wrestling Center.
So it's not the PC anymore.
Not the PC anymore.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was a big match feel. The concerto was crazy, but at the end, Roman Reigns, like the heel he is, took it to them, and they all 3 guys beat the holy piss out of each other. And in the end, Roman pinned both of them, stacked them on top of each other, and pinned them. So, man, that was the best match on the show. Like, I hate to admit it, but that was the best match on the show. And before we get into that, let me do this real quick. Let's go to a quick commercial break, and we're going to go back and talk about some more of this craziness.
Drive me insane! All these rules are lame, cause they're taking all the fun out! Drive me insane! All these rules are lame, cause they're taking all the fun out! Drive me insane! All these rules...
When you want to get your hair cut, you go get your hair cut right. You head down to Big D's Barbershop. Big D's Barbershop, Vancouver, Washington's best and brightest. 1019 Main Street, Vancouver, Washington, where you can go get your hair lined up, cuts, fades, shampoos, conditions, and all the great things that go with supporting a local barbershop in a local business area. You can also reach them online at www.bigdsbarbershop.com. Go get your hair cut right.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Great futures do start the Boys and Girls Club, and we are back.
Yeah, damn. Shout out to Big D's Barbershop, because that is where the franchise player, Bad Blood, gets his haircut, like
Right.
almost exclusively. A shout out to the Boys and Girls Club, because you know what? Here's the thing. True fact that none other than Oscar winner Denzel Washington and posthumous Oscar winner Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, are proud recipients of what the Boys and Girls Club can do. Right? That is absolute facts. You can go ahead and put that in the Google machine. And damn it, every time 503 apparel, the best like commercial package and the get me insane, it's off the chain. So go ahead and support all of those amazing sponsors.
If you want to go ahead and check it out, ladies and gentlemen, you can go to www.503originals.com. Hats, beanies, hoodies, sweaters, everything, man, everything under the sun. You tell them your boy the franchise sent you, they'll give you a good discount and some good merch. As a matter of fact, it's right here, ladies and gentlemen, 503originals.com. I wear the shirt constantly. I'm on the list. You can be too. Look cool like the franchise.
There it is. There it is. And you don't even have to be from the 503 to rep it. You can support the best of what the 503 era code has to offer worldwide, like this podcast.
Yeah, you like that, don't you? You like that 503originals.com. Go buy the shirt, ladies and gentlemen. It's lit. So, going back to what we were talking about, the main event was crazy. It was a spectacle. It was off the fucking chain. Some people say it was the best match on the show. I think honestly it was.
I liked Edge's gear.
Right? But let's play conspiracy theory here.
Okay, go for it.
The first time in his illustrious career, and I've been watching Randy Orton since the start. I'm talking OVW days. Randy's never wore white.
Right.
He's never worn the white and red with a tinge of black.
Mm-hmm.
In the main event, Edge shows up white and red with a tinge of black. So, are we looking at a rated RKO reunion?
Oh, no, I hope not.
You don't think so?
I mean, you could be
Because
right. I don't want it.
Happen.
I don't.
You watch.
Jesus.
Because you hope it won't happen, it's going to happen. Because that's the way Vince thinks. You know it like I know it. That's the way Vince thinks.
I know. I just.
You're going to see
good.
it, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm so good. Like the only tag team I want to see Edge in is essentially Edge and Christian, and yeah, almost like nothing else, right? And the Christians over, yeah, how professional Edge and Bryan were. Yeah, so I didn't give a damn about the match, to be honest. Absolutely no, didn't like it. I already like it. Always was telegraphed that Roman was going to do, and the one Uso that was flip flopping around the place. Like I just was like, oh man, this is like anybody that. Why have the other guys? We might as well just have Roman against Roman at that point. Roman versus Roman versus Roman, because that's essentially it. Or Roman versus the Usos in a 3-way, and Roman will come up on top. They will finger poke of doom each other, and Roman will be on top. I mean, theoretically, Edge and Daniel Bryan were placeholders for Jimmy and Jay, which is where the damn thing is going to go anyway. So I
mean, you know, the whole bloodline gimmick, that's gonna take effect. We all know that. And I mean, it is what it is, man. You know how I think about this. Usos equals old news. Tommy Celsius.
Uso versus old news.
Shout out to my boy Mike Kirk.
Shout out to Mike Kirk and all
Shout
of
out to Mike Kirk's nephew who's going to the Worlds, man. As a what? Michael Kirk his nephew is going to the Worlds, man. He's like one of the best wrestlers. Like, man, it's shout out to Michael Kirk and his nephew. Shout out to Terry Kirk. You know, man, just yeah,
yeah, man,
some awesome shit, man. Some awesome shit.
Awesome shit all the time. Shout out to the Kirks. Now, yeah, I'm good on the. I'm good on the
MMA
Usos.
at 13 years old, man. Now, Adam, I'm gonna tell you, this kid. You need to have him on your podcast, dude. He's 13 years old. He's a beast, bro. He's a beast.
According to Woods, Michael Kirk, let's get into the DMs. I'm
Yeah.
opening it up. I would love to find out about Terry and the rest of the family. It seems like so. Yeah, let's do this. Let's absolutely do this.
So now that we've talked about the spectacle that is WrestleMania, let's get into Monday Night Raw. Okay. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't want the spoilers, right now is probably the time you should turn away, because right now we're going to get into those heavy spoilers from Monday Night Raw.
Watch for sure, but mute it,
watch
because
for
we
sure.
count
Watch,
on your views to keep this show running, this engine rolling. Not the Braun Strowman choo-choo, whatever. This is an amazing train. Amazing train. This is the soul train, is what I'm saying. Even though I never have soul, but yeah, well.
So Adin Varick is the new voice of Monday Night Raw. Ripley defends the newly won Raw Championship against Asuka, and the show starts out with Bobby Lashley defending the WWE. I'm sorry, it was a non-title match against Riddle.
Against who?
Against Riddle. Yeah, Riddle came out with the scooter and all that stupid shit and everything. Like, bro, like, so Riddle gets his ass submitted. Bobby submits Riddle, and like it was a very relatively short match. So Bobby is continuing his domination on the Raw after WrestleMania, and it was a vicious beatdown. So I guess now they're jobbing Riddle out like, hey, Riddle doesn't exist anymore.
You know what? Monday Night Raw has become Monday Night Blah because it's just,
Bobby.
it's I don't know, and sometimes even the 3-minute YouTube, kind of encompassing. Sometimes even that is like 10 seconds too long, because 10 seconds in, I'm just like, no, oh man, this is.
Well, on a positive note, tag team match: Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander face the returning Viking Raiders. Shout out to both Eric and Ivar for coming back. Both those gentlemen were injured. They were on the injured list for a while, and they're both pretty cool dudes. I've known both of them for a while, so shout out to them coming back. The Viking Raiders with a quick win over the former tag team champions. Let's just hope they don't go back into a feud with Dawkins and what's his name? I'm talking about the.
Oh, the Street Profits.
Yeah.
Well, the one, the skinnier, or like more put together Raider, he's got like a Viking cross, almost like an iron cross on his chest. So,
well,
I'm gonna say that
behind that, but we're gonna go back to what we were talking about earlier with Charlotte Flair returning, interfering in the match. Charlotte came out and she cut a heel promo, like. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Charlotte's been a fucking heel since day one. She's been the heel since day one. Even just exciting said it right now. The best thing about Raw was the Fiend, and they blew that last night. But we're going to talk about that in a minute. I don't want to get too ahead of everybody, because we want to talk about Rhea Ripley defending the title against Asuka. Ends up being a no contest. Flair hits Asuka with a fallaway slam. And then she gives her like the boot to the face, and then Flair kicks Ripley to the face. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a triple threat match at Backlash?
Oh no, it's WrestleMania Backlash Yeah, it's not even Backlash anymore. It's Wrestlemania Backlash, because I guess Balls of Fire was taken. But yeah, I don't know, man. And when's enough, right? Because Charlotte. What does she have? Like something like 12 titles already, right? 12 world championships already.
Like that, yeah.
So by the time she hangs them up, if she goes on the current trajectory that she's in, she's going to be like an 80-time champion. And of course, you can like read into that. But then I think about all the other women that were there and capable to, ready there to assume the mantle, and it's just like, and it's not nepotism, because Charlotte, I forget, she's done something that I don't think a lot of second and third generation wrestlers outside of maybe Bray Wyatt, and because Natty, we know she's a heart. That's almost her identity. Same thing with
That is her
Tamina.
identity.
Right. So, but like the Fiend and Charlotte, they almost made me forget about their family lineage. And that's a good thing. That's an amazing thing when you have the lineage that they do.
You think so? Like Charlotte run around her daddy's robe screaming "woo" every time.
But even still, so but I separate it. Like I would even say she's better than Flair. But I'm also a guy that thinks that for that gimmick, right? Nick Bockwinkel of the AWA did it better. Like the Hollywood, like in terms of the Nature Boy, yeah, like Nick Bockwinkel. I'm not too high on Flair, right? I actually think that Charlotte is the best Flair. It's not when Rick was saying like Charlotte is going to be whatever, and when she was down in FCW, the precursor to NXT, we thought he was full of shit. That wasn't hyperbole. The one thing that you can take to the bank with Ric Flair, other than his bounce alimony checks, is the fact that Charlotte is the best Flair of them all. So she is, but again, I think it's a bit too much too soon that she's nearing her dad's record and look at all of the talented, females that are.
Cena's right there. Triple H is close to that. Randy Orton's close to that.
But look how long it took them versus Charlotte doing it in a quarter of the time. And I'm not. Yeah. So I mean, now I would love a Charlotte versus Miko Satomura match, or a Charlotte versus a Kaylee Ray match. And hell, even Xia Brookside. Like that whole NXT UK roster. But again, if she gets I think in the next 3 years, she's going to surpass her dad, Cena, Randy Orton, all of their title reigns. But then awesome. At what cost?
I don't like her as much as most people because she's been put on a pedestal.
I think it's justified.
But she's working. She works for it. Like she works. Like she busts her ass. I'll give her that. As a wrestler, as someone who's been in this business a long time, I see her work rate.
Yeah,
and, she works. Missed no days off unless she's hurt. She took no days off. She's the Miz of the WWE, and I say that because the Miz, year in, year out, no matter if you like him or you dislike him, you think it's a shit wrestler, he's not a shit wrestler, whatnot. That dude has been there.
Mm-hmm.
That dude has been there. He made the Intercontinental title relevant again, in my opinion. But speaking of the Miz, on tonight's Raw, Maurice is the special guest on Miz TV. Now, it gets really funny because Damian Priest, poor Damian Priest. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy was killing it in Ring of Honor as Punishment Martinez. He gets signed to NXT. He does okay in NXT. Then he gets brought up to the main roster, and they put him together with Bad Bunny, who took 90% of their WrestleMania match. So when Damian Priest hit the Falcon Arrow for the finish in his match, and Bad Bunny did it, no one gave a shit about Damian Priest doing it. It was all Bad Bunny. So tonight on Raw, you know how he's rewarded for that? He gets put in a 2-on-1 handicap match against John Morrison and The Miz with the returning Maurice. And they beat the piss out of him. The Miz and John Morrison beat the piss on him. And they, ripped his pants around his ankles. They totally embarrassed him.
Edgy.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad. But, here's the thing. We talked about this. The women's tag team titles, we talked about that. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. Natalya and Tamina. Lana and
Naomi.
They've all challenged for the titles and they've all lost. But they keep getting match after match after match after match after match. But they break up the Iconics. So they put Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke together because they're two hot blondes. That's their gimmick. Two hot blondes. Like
North Hollywood Connection is what I heard somebody refer to them as.
Like, ladies and gentlemen, please don't think of me as being a sexist or anything like that, because I think Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose are incredible athletes. Both of them are kick-ass wrestlers, except when Mandy walks down the aisle and slips on water. But anyway, great wrestlers, okay? But Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, just, you put them two together, it's crazy. But they won the match by countout, and they stayed the champions. So, what the hell? I don't get it.
The only thing that you could perceivably do is, bring up the NXT Women Tag Team Champions in Shotzi and Ember Moon, but then you kill the NXT Women's Tag Team titles, right out of the gate. And to me, just where they are in terms of storytelling, and there's only been 2 champions, but it's getting booked better. Even Regal cutting the promo of, well, we're not going to wait for, to wait around and see who's going to, because that stipulation of the Dusty Rhodes, Invitational was essentially to see who contends for the Women's Tag Team Championship. But they're just like, I just love the way that it's presented, but you almost do, like, there's no other match that you could make other than with the NXT Women's Tag Champs, but then you kill the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship, like, what, 6 weeks after its inception, if that. It's weird.
I don't know, man. It's stupid. But with that being said, after that stupidity, I mean, like, we have, Bobby Lashley comes out as the champion. Him and MVP are out there, and they, talk about how they retain the championship against Drew McIntyre, and how McIntyre could barely stand after the hurt lock, and that was a good match. Like, I gotta say, that was a good match until that stupid "Hey Drew" and Drew stopped.
Yeah.
And, that was so horrible. But tonight Drew comes out and he says he wants a rematch. Then Braun Strowman comes out. He wants a match. And then Randy Orton comes out. Randy Orton's like, hey, I want a match. So Adam Pearce, good friend of the channel, Adam Pearce comes out and says that all 3 of those guys will face each other in a triple threat match at WrestleMania Backlash. I don't understand why they call it WrestleMania Backlash. Like, so basically we're seeing matches that we've already seen. But the WWE is the superior company according to certain people in our circle.
I mean, they're superior in terms of the revenue, right? When you look at it,
they make movies. They make movies. Which is true. They make movies.
And the fact of the matter is, when you think about it, the UFC sold for $4 billion. Like, the entire UFC, all of the tape archives and all of the acquisitions that the UFC made under the Zuffa banner, WEC, Pride, Strikeforce, Elite XC, all this other stuff, Fight Pass, all of it, $4 billion versus just the rights to the network, the exclusive rights to the network sold for $1 billion. And that's in addition to the crazy sum of like $5 million between NBC Universal for Raw and NXT to be on USA, and then Fox is at like another $300 million for the rights for for SmackDown, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they are, in terms of revenue, it all depends on what you quantify as success, right? Is Conor McGregor the biggest and baddest MMA fighter at all? Did he figure out more than anybody that he'll probably sit on most people a couple notches on all people's all-time greatest, like, MMA fighters of all time? But then again, he has made more than like 80% of the roster combined. So again, you have to kind of adjust what you call as the best, and it's almost like the top 10 or greatest of all time. It's all speculative. It's what hit you at it, and then also recency bias. It's what you just saw you're going to be influenced by, right? I mean, it's crazy that Luthez or Billy Robinson gets left off of people. Vern Gagne gets left off of people's best list. But again,
best in their day, they were the best.
Right. But, I talk to people now and they're like, I've been watching old school WWF. And I let them go. And it's just like, oh yeah, the Attitude Era is their old school. But then I realized I'm talking to a 20-year-old person, and they might have never, aside from a video game, never heard of Ted DiBiase or Macho Man Randy Savage, right? So it's there, right? But again, WWE in terms of revenue, right? They are the best. There's nothing that you could say. Like, don't even.
I will 100% agree with you on that.
Yeah. So there's that. Now, do they like make compelling content that you want to watch 9 hours of original programming a week to catch up?
Man. That's a lot of wrestling.
We've got Raw 3 hours. You've got 205 Live, which is an hour. We've got NXT UK, which is an hour. Regular NXT, it's 2 hours, or if you catch the 90-minute version, right? Like, we're already at like 10 plus, and we haven't even got to Friday night SmackDown, right? And a week like whatever, where we had Hall of Fame, right? Hall of Fame on a Tuesday, NXT Wednesday and Thursday, Friday SmackDown, 2 nights of Mania, and then we do the whole regular loop again. And by the time we get to Wednesday, we kind of forget about Mania, and it's a lot, right? And
it's a lot, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking a good 40 hours of wrestling.
Here's again an apples to orange comparison, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take the Rocky, the entire series from the first one all the way up into like Creed 2, right?
Okay.
You take all of the Fast and the Furious franchises, right? Like that, the accumulation of watch time, if you sat through the entire series, right? That's what WWE is putting out per week in terms of hours of fucking content.
That's like watching the whole Infinity Saga.
It is. It fucking is.
Damn, that is a lot of content. And
per week. Yeah,
per week. They put out more per week than I put out in a month. And I'm on the podcast like 3 days a week. So it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But so after we had that whole thing, you got Jackson Riker.
Hulk Hogan, real American.
Yeah, exactly. The forgotten son himself, Jackson Riker, and Elias. Elias was like on the fast track, and they had this rumor backstage in WWE that if Vince likes you, if you're on Vince's list, you're about to be, shit on. So Elias, who was like catching stream, like the dude came out with the whole gimmick, like he would come out and sit in the middle of the ring, the legs would go low, and he'd be like, WWE stands for, and the fans would be like, walk with Elias, and it was over. It was over. But they put him with Jackson Riker now, and they're feuding with the New Day. So you take the World Tag Team titles off the New Day, you give it to AJ and Amos, and you don't give them you don't give them a rematch for the title. You put them against Elias and Jackson Riker. And the whole thing started with the New Day making fun of Elias and Jackson Riker, saying that they were a disgrace to tag team wrestling because they lost to one guy. So
yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. But okay, so what in reference to Elias, he kind of reminds me of Bruce Pritchard, right? If you listen to Something to Wrestle, right? And then the bell rang. That's I get, to be honest with you, I love wrestling. I fucking love wrestling. And I wrestling at a time where I was down in my life was good to me. It made me feel a sense of like a cohesion in my life where there was none, right? And I love it. I love it. I could not tell you one Elias move. One.
Not even one?
Not one. Not
wow.
fucking one. Like after the hey, it's Elias, the fucking strumming of the guitar and whatever. I just know he gets beat the shit out of for his again. This maybe Elias was the precursor to what was WrestleMania 37, aka Mea Culpa Mania, because he gets fucking 3 minutes of fucking talk time and he gets his ass handed to him for like 90 seconds. So Mea Culpa Mania. Yeah, Elias and Riker. And
Walk with Elias.
man, I would walk into traffic rather than try to watch a Jackson Riker match. So that's it.
What's really crazy though? The other two guys, Wesley Blake and what was the other dude's name?
Oh, Wesley Blake, and wasn't it? No, it wasn't. I want to say it was. Wasn't it Murphy? No, Murphy was. Murphy was in a team with Blake, right?
Yeah, it was them back in the beginning.
Yeah, in NXT. And then, Steve Cutler. Steve Cutler.
Those two guys didn't do shit. Those guys didn't do nothing. They did their job. They did their job and they didn't do shit.
Yeah.
And Jackson Riker was the one that got with the racist comments and got suspended by WWE for X amount of time and let the heat die down, took him off TV. But Jackson Riker and Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler are fucking gone.
But no, Cutler in NXT, he's in another tag team. And it actually looks not bad. It's not bad from what I've seen of it. But yeah, like and I understand, right? It's almost like, Robert Stone or Robbie E, whatever you want to call him, right? Where they're a little bit older, right? You got to remember that, like, in his previous incarnation of Phil Shatter, Jackson Riker was a member of like the post Omega, not Kenny Omega, fuck that guy, but the post Omega wrestling of the Hardys, like him, Shannon Moore, Hurricane, the Hardys, and everything like that. So I understand that they need to get the juice squeezed out of him in some particular way. Otherwise, what was it all for? What is he doing on the roster? I was surprised he didn't get featured endeavored when everybody was when WWE did their COVID feature endeavored list. But I mean, for what for, man? Like, I mean, he's vascular. And that's it.
Vince. Well, here's the thing that really surprised me, and I'm happy to bring it to everyone's attention. The Fiend has been reborn. Tonight, the Firefly Funhouse returns to Raw, and Bray Wyatt comes out and he's like, "The Fiend is back," and he comes out and he's like, "Hey, wowie, wowie, whatever the hell he said." But like, there's no like, you can't bring the Fiend back ever again. Like that gimmick is dead now. Like, in my opinion, the gimmick is dead.
Yeah. Now I love. Okay, so anybody that shit on that match, I loved it. It did everything. It was way better than the fucking weird shit in the ring hocus pocus that we got. Oh yeah, did we have that Bray Wyatt and fucking Orton? Like, that happened already, like 4 years ago.
Yeah,
and they did it again. Oh fuck, that's WWE. But I mean, to be honest with you, I love that. Like, I didn't like the burnt Fiend. He looked like a weird ass, version of like burnt stuff puff from fucking Ghostbusters, right? So
yeah.
I liked when and the storyline behind it. Not only did he just come out as the Fiend, but like they made the transition and the vignette. And again,
I like that entrance though. With the whole tunnel.
Yes, WWE's vignettes, they do it better than anyone else. And when there was
movies,
yes, no, 100%. Like I actually, aside from Orton winning, I am not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. And again, of all the things that I don't like about Orton, whether it be personally or he's just not my cup of tea in terms of what I want in a wrestler, like Orton and the pre-mentioned Phil Shatter, now Jackson Riker, they're interchangeable. Same dude in my opinion, same dude, right? So with that all being said, I get it. I get that you want to switch it up and whatever, but let the Fiend be the Fiend. I don't know where they're going with the storyline, and it also reminds me of.
They don't either.
It reminds me of the Woken Matt deal, like they were kind of doing the Woken Matt, and they were giving him, and that was like literally, after taking, it was Broken Matt in Impact Wrestling, and the. Like the whole deal, that was amazing, right? And then they did it in the WWE, and they treated it with respect. And then they do almost the same match over, but in place of Jeff, they have Bray. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Like they're just saying, hey, we're gonna make you pay for your liking of a WWE creation. And again, it's a WWE creation, right? It's not like Wyndham Rotunda or what is it? Husky Harris, aka Axel Mulligan, aka Bray Wyatt.
Mulligan gimmick.
Yeah, he's a guy that is wrestled nowhere else but your system. Deep South FCW, and then NXT main roster, right? He is your guy. Why are you fighting over your guy?
And the crazy part about it, right? So they bring him back, and they do the Firefly Funhouse. He comes in there, Mercy the Buzzard, and Husky the Pig, and Abby the Witch, and Ramblin' Rabbit. They're all happy. He's like, I'm back, everyone. I was killed a few months ago by the Fiend, and I'm back, blah, blah, blah. Abby, I love the Abby the Witch gimmick. She was just like, well, Alexa Bliss isn't here anymore. I can't stand that bitch.
Wow.
Speaking of bitch, did you hear Nia Jax? She was
no,
like,
what happened?
Bitch.
No, I missed it. What happened?
During the tag team match on she walks up to her cousin.
Tamina?
She walks up to Tamina. Oh, look, my green screen's gone. She walks up to Tamina, and she straight up called her a bitch. And she was like, you ain't shit. Legit told her, you ain't shit. And they couldn't block it out. It was so funny. One of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Wow. The Thanksgiving is going to be weird it's weird because Fijians and Tongans and Samoans, they don't usually get along, but this Anawahi, Snuka family and whatever, they've literally, it's the Jeff Cobb. It's a tour of the islands. You want your Tongans, you want your Fijians, you want your Samoans, we got them all for you in one fucking family.
Right. They sure do.
Only like three of them, right? Two of them are brothers, the SHIT, Matt Anawahi, and then his younger brother, Joe, aka Roman Reigns. They're the only ones that aren't like, bloodthirsty.
That's Simone Savages, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's a gimmick, ladies and gentlemen. We're just saying it's a gimmick.
I'm part Fijian, damn it. I grew up in Inglewood. I'm good. Inglewood is not always up to good, and Fijians actually can speak other than grunts. Just saying.
That's true. So, ladies and gentlemen, look, we're going to go with a quick break, and we'll be right back after these exciting messages from the 503 Originals.
Drive me insane! All these rules are lame, have been taking all the fun out! Drive me insane! All these rules are lame, have been taking all the fun out! Drive me insane! All these
When you want to get your hair cut, you go get your hair cut right. you head down to Big D's Barbershop. Big D's Barbershop, Vancouver, Washington's best and brightest. 1019 Main Street, Vancouver, Washington, where you can go get your hair lined up, cuts, fades, shampoos, conditions, and all the great things that go with supporting a local barbershop in a local business area. You can also reach them online at www.bigdsbarbershop.com. Go get your haircut right.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are back after the Big D's Barbershop, and I had to do a little bit of the fixing of the green screen, ladies and gentlemen. I want to make sure that you guys get to see all the beautiful things that we have to offer. Speaking of beautiful things, a triple threat match: Drew versus Braun versus Randy. The winner to face Bobby Lashley at Wrestlemania Backlash. That even sounds fucking stupid saying it, doesn't it?
That's Vince circa 94 of the new generation. I don't know. That was my favorite time of wrestling, so I'm not mad at it. But also, what I'm not mad at is I've never heard, Randy Orton, Braun Strowman, and I can't even remember who the hell else is in this triple threat as beautiful things. To shout out, Randy Orton is probably somewhere in St. Louis going, I am a beautiful one.
Oh my God. Shout out to Kim Orton, Randy Orton's wife. She had a lot of heat on Twitter with Alexa Bliss.
I mean,
she threw a hell of shade.
Yeah. I mean,
shout out to Kim Orton.
Yeah. I'm not. You got to defend your territory, is what I'm saying.
Man,
so
she was all savage about it too. She was like, "Don't be touching my man like that."
Yeah. So so leading into this next pay-per-view, and that's the three that I've got. We've got Choo Choo Man, RKO, and Drew McIntyre.
So here's the thing, though. Randy's a heel. Braun is a heel. Drew's the only face in this match, but they're all vying to face a heel, Bobby Lashley. Now, I just gotta say this right now. I fucking love this shit.
Really?
Why do I love it? Because it's all shades of gray. There's no good guy or bad guy. They all want the championship. I always tell people, when I'm challenging someone for the title, I'm not a face nor a heel. I want to win. I don't give a damn if I'm facing the good guy or the bad guy. I'm beating up everybody. I am an equal opportunity ass kicker. So with that being said, I fucking love this match. I mean, granted, I don't love the match. I love the concept of the match. Because that goes to show you that there's no face, there are no heels. It's just dudes who want to beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's the three, right? These are three that.
That's probably what it is. You just tell me three fucking guys.
Yeah, no,
that's the way WWE is.
I don't know. And to me, if you put on NXT UK in Raw's spot and just don't do anything different, I'd rather that than whatever the hell they're offering for WrestleMania Backlash. Like, I don't. You got. And again, you were talking about the ideologies, right? You've got the former former Rosebud, and again, put that in the Urban Dictionary. The Urban Dictionary that they didn't do fuck all with for 2 years. He was coming backstage doing the deal, whatever, and he was the only one. Simon Gotch had a development deal. Becky Lynch, there was a couple other people included in the Rosebuds and whatever. They all had deals. The biggest motherfucker was doing the shit for 2 years, had no deal, and they didn't give a damn about him. Then he's a Wyatt member. Then he isn't a Wyatt member, is wearing this weird, almost like a camo version of, I mean camo as like camouflage, if you're familiar with like battle dress uniforms of the U.S. military, right? But also like Hunter Harris Helmsley, like a fox. What is it? Like a fox hunter. Like it was weird.
Aristocrat.
Right, but
blue blood. That's right.
But Strawn has the same weird like kind of crotchy thing as the aristocratic blue blood, but he's supposed to be a badass, but also defected from a weird deal. And then he has his saying of "get these hands," but has no actual moves that display his hands.
His finisher should be like a knockout punch. He's always talking about "get these hands."
Yeah, that's yeah. And then you've got Orton, which I mean, the most exciting thing that Orton has done of the last 10 years was his wife basically, shitting on Alexa Bliss and like, say, "get your hands off of my man," and then the fucking memes that didn't even really include him, but him like fucking RKOing a shark or somebody that fucking slid across the ass and right. So there's that, and then Drew. I just don't. Even though he's like a top guy, they still haven't figured out a way to portray him. And and talking to a litany of Scottish wrestlers, over the course of the last like 3 weeks, and I've been grateful to do so. But how much that Drew and Nikki Cross mean to that scene, right? Big Game-O, the now I forgot what his name is in NXT, but like they're like carrying the flag for Scottish wrestling, but yet the presentation of Drew with the sword and the like, you're making him William Wallace, but then like it's weird. And we are like, if you've seen Braveheart, you know what happens to William Wallace. It ain't good. Right? I hate for this to be the fate of Drew, especially after how, getting axed. He was the chosen one, then a 3MB member, right? And then like going around and basically plying his trade even more across the absolute world. He is a true world champion in every sense of the word, because he racked up championships all around the world and defended said championships and around the horn. So shout out to Drew McIntyre. It's just his presentation. And so this match, theoretically, the only thing, if you want to do heel and face with the heel Bobby Lashley as the champion, the defending champion, Drew's winning this. The other two guys are just there. Right? I don't think at this stage of the game, Randy Orton's making another title run, but then he just had a title run in the last year.
I don't know, man. I mean, the way WWE is just running, like, I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, things that happen in the WWE that shouldn't happen all the time. We all know this. And I gotta say, man, like so far on Raw, I'm not impressed.
Yeah, no, 100%.
The Raw after WrestleMania is supposed to be like the people debuting, like, oh my god, this guy just showed up on Raw, and for years, it's been that way. The night after WrestleMania is like one of the biggest spectacles, like almost as big as Raw.
You mean WrestleMania? But no, I see where you're going. No, but here's the thing. So I haven't seen it yet, but I want to ask: did they go back to the Thunderdome, or are there fans at the Raw after WrestleMania?
Oh no, they're fans.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, okay. So then yeah, I don't understand it, because I was saying, hey, you don't want to do a hot angle and then nobody actually there. But if there's fans and not international,
I didn't mention that Alexa Bliss's name is Lily.
Wait, what?
Alexa Bliss's name is Lily.
Wait, like they just renamed her?
Yeah, she's a new person now. She's a new person.
Man, I want to say nice things about the WWE, but they just like, I don't know.
I try to be objective, and I always look at, and people are always going to say, man, let me tell you something, brother. You hate this and this because of this and this, and you're a AEW mark and blah, blah, blah. No, I'm a professional wrestler. Shout out to you too, Thomas Poston. Yeah, man, I had a pretty good WrestleMania weekend. Thank you. You know, I'm a wrestler, but I'm also a fan. I like to watch it, and I want it to make fucking sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, it doesn't. And it irritates the fuck out of me. Because in my mind, and this is just me, ladies and gentlemen, it could be, I could be speaking out of turn or whatever, whatnot, but in my mind, Vince McMahon thinks that we're all stupid.
No, I don't even think it's that. I think it's, when it comes to our kind of opinion on what goes on, it doesn't matter what we think. Really, fans, no fans, watching or whatever, because he just knows that he has a built-in following, in the millions around the world that will plunker down whatever, if it's $10 for the network, something for replica belts, something for t-shirts or whatever, an affinity for even, this is the place where, the Savage and Miss Elizabeth thing happened, the Mega Powers, the like all of these great builds and whatever. And I think at times they forgot it, like they forgot that they're capable of such things. Hell, my favorite WrestleMania 10, right? Everybody thinks that the new generation era was a downtime, and maybe in terms of financials, it might have well been. Maybe Brett didn't, as much as I love him, maybe he didn't do well on top, right? He didn't do well in terms of the live gate, but even still, the stuff that him and Owen and like those compelling damn storylines, and I don't see it. I don't see it anymore, right?
Well,
but they're compelling to Vince. They're compelling to Vince.
Let me tell you what Vince is doing, though. You're right about that. You say it's compelling to Vince. These storylines are compelling to Vince. I'll put it to you this way: the winner of that fucking triple threat match was Drew McIntyre. So once again, Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley for the championship. Now, Backlash, WrestleMania Backlash, the main event, Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley, and now the newest members of the Hurt Business. Mason T-Bar.
Oh, God. I thought you were going to say T-Boss from TLC. I'd rather that than...
Mason T-Bar have joined the fucking Hurt Business.
Jesus. Oh, my God.
So you get rid of Shelton Benjamin, you get rid of Cedric Alexander, two amazing fucking guys, and you put Mason T-Bar in.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know who Mason T-Bar are, these are the people that were part of Retribution. They beat the shit out of Drew McIntyre, left him laying.
Okay.
So I'm confused as to why Mason T-Bar are now part of the Hurt Business.
And wait, so isn't that Shane Thorne and Dijakovic?
Yes.
Right?
No, it's D.L. Madden and Dijakovic.
Oh, okay.
D.L. Madden was an announcer at on SmackDown or whatnot. Anyway, it's ridiculous. It's stupid. I'm
but then, okay.
over it.
but like, okay, in terms of like them doing Drew and Lashley all over again, this is like pro wrestling 101, right? I mean, pro wrestling, at least in North America and probably in other parts of the world, like England and what have you, this was what pro wrestling looked almost like jiu-jitsu, right? A catch wrestling, two guys literally wrestling for an hour and whatever. And then, they had that deal for 100 some odd years before it. And then by the time of the 1920s and 30s, it started to wane. And look no further than the Goldust Trio, right? One of them being Toot Smont, who is like the right-hand man for Vince McMahon Sr., right? So, but it was the optics of like, okay, instead of us just wrestling and we get one gate, we go, you're going to win this one. I'm going to win the next one. And then then we can do a legit shoot fight on the third deal, but we've basically accumulated and amassed 3 different gates and a bigger arena every time, right? And everybody leaves home happy. But that's kind of what it is, right? It's booking, with the same storyline, booking
It's
2
supposed to be that.
cards
It's supposed to be that, but
theoretically.
not now. So, ladies and
No.
gentlemen, look. Here's the deal. Adam is very, very passionate about the way booking is done in professional wrestling. Adam is an old school wrestling guy. I'm an old school wrestling guy. But to be quite honest, the wrestling these days, the WWE, it's not about professional wrestling with the WWE. It's all about movies. It's all about. It's just not wrestling. it's sports entertainment, and it doesn't have to make sense to you or I. It doesn't have to make sense to Adam. It doesn't have to make sense because it makes sense to Vince McMahon, and that's the end all be all.
Yeah, but again, that's I mean, they did it, right? They did the cinematic matches last year, right? They were awesome, right? They did it with Austin. Austin couldn't wrestle. That's why all the cool stuff with the the pouring cement in Vince's car and because he couldn't wrestle.
Once again, they made movies.
Right. So I mean, we liked it then and we don't like it now. Why has it? Why is that? Right? So the movies were quality at one time. Now they're the ones that you would get at the damn Dollar Tree or Dollar General in the 99-cent bin, but at a time where they're grossing the most money, so they don't have to. Who's their competition, right? Flippy shit CEOs that haven't felt that can't even book themselves right. Omega and the Young Bucks have never felt more like mid-carders. And they're doing it in a promotion where they're on the executive board, right? They've never felt like more J-Brones than right now, at least in my opinion, right? You've got Impact Wrestling, which is kind of in the synergy with AEW. Ring of Honor hasn't done shit at all. The most compelling thing about Ring of Honor, and I just caught a clip of it, is Danhausen. Danhausen is the shit. Book that guy everywhere. But everything else is just laughable. I kind of like what they're doing with Mike. I want to call him Mike, but he's
Bennett.
not Mike Bennett. Mike Bennett, right? Mike Bennett and Maria. That's cool. Maria getting back into kind of like this executive role. That's cool. It's intriguing. But aside from it, Jay Lethal winning the world title 18 times. He's like the Charlotte of Ring of Honor. Nothing against Jay Lethal, but I mean, there's other people too, is what I'm saying. So it's just weird to kind of. I love wrestling. I like good shit.
That's it. That's where it all boils down to. We like good shit.
Call it wrestling, call it music, call it whatever. And just because you like the thing doesn't mean that everything is going to agree with you. And there's somebody right now that loves everything that the WWE is doing, right? Mm-hmm. That, looks at this kind of era of Braun Strowman and, Randy Orton and whatever, almost like with the same affinity that you and I, Bad Blood, of a Randy Savage or a Bret Hart or, a Vern Gagne. This is their golden era. So I don't want to crap on it too much, right? But again, WWE is the worldwide leader in what they do.
Movies.
I don't know what the hell they do anymore.
They do movies, compelling movies. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end it on this note. If you would like to support the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast, you can go do that right now. Go to support this podcast, https://anchor.fm/the Roundtable Podcast support. We love to have you go and support this channel. Go help us out. Help us keep this channel going. I'd like to thank some of our sponsors, Big D's Barbershop, the Boys and Girls Club, the 503 Originals, the OIWA. And I would like to thank Spotify, Anchor, Google, Apple, Pandora, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, all these beautiful places that you can find our podcast, Breaker FM. You can find us just everywhere you can find podcast stuff. You can find us there. Like, and Radio Public. You can also watch us 3 nights a week on television in the Portland metro area, all 96,000 of you. Xfinity, CenturyLink TV, Portland, Oregon area, Monday, 10 p.m., channel 11, and Tuesday, 10 p.m., channel 22 and channel 8002 on CenturyLink TV. Wednesday, the night after the live Roundtable Pro Wrestling podcast, you can see us at 9 p.m., channel 23 on Xfinity TV and channel 8003 CenturyLink TV. Go watch it, ladies and gentlemen. You can find us on Twitter at the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. Everybody knows you can find us there live every week. Go like, click, and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. For your boy Adam Woods, According to Woods, you can find him on Twitter as well at According to Woods. On YouTube, also, the man does some great MMA combat sports programs. Go check him out, ladies and gentlemen. Go give him a like, a click, a follow. And it's your boy, WB Bad Blood, the franchise player, saying thank you very much for joining us. Peace.